Come on, Solo Cup.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I am live. I'm a few minutes late, but I'm here. Welcome. This is going to be an episode that you do not want to miss. And I know I say that every episode, but it's true. It's really true. Well, in my eyes. And this guest is no different than any other that has been super inspirational to me, especially at some point in my life, or someone that I feel could bring you all some type of insight into just moving into another level. So I'm super excited to be bringing my guest tonight, but I want to know how y'all feel. So check in with me tonight. How are y'all feeling? Let me know. I'm going to be checking the comments a little bit better in this moment. But let me know how you're feeling tonight for those of you that are here. And I want to thank you for joining me tonight for this episode of the Southern Gent Presents. Here I am. I'm your illustrious host, Eddie, and I'm thrilled that you all are here. So remember, in the comments, tell me how you're feeling as you're coming in. And yes, I have my solo cup. She is here with me, filled with Cabernet Sauvignon. If you haven't tuned in before, I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Ed Wiley 06. Subscribe as soon as you hop off this shit. Okay. I also want to remind you to register to vote. If you've already registered, then help somebody else get registered. That's enough politics. Y'all know that ain't my favorite subject, but I will be bringing y'all a political correspondent the closer we get to the election. So stay tuned. In the sense of keeping up with Self-Care Awareness Month, I wanted to bring you another special guest that will be sure to give you some of those aha moments. And these moments are sure to get the wheels spinning. I can personally attest to this because over the course of knowing each other for the last decade, he's definitely been that big brother figure in my life. You know, the kind that gives you the advice that you don't always want to hear, but you know you need. You know, that's that fix my life kind of love. My guest is none other than the incomparable Chris Matthews. Chris, my pumpkin, how are you this evening?
What's going on, pumpkin?
This is great. You're finally on the show.
I am. I'm here. Okay. They finally let me in.
Yes,
I finally made it past the man at the front.
You know, I keep a man at the front door.
Okay.
So,
it was a knockout.
Tuesday. So, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I cheated the system and I stole time back from everything else and I gave it to me. You know, sometimes we have a propensity to let other things steal time from us. And so this weekend I decided it was important to steal time for me. I have a lot of things going on with family and friends, and I was supposed to come visit a friend, which was my only regret for stealing time. But I was exhausted, and I still end up working from home. So it was a balance.
I think it's all in a balance, but we enjoyed for you, okay? So we definitely felt you there in spirit. You always know you have this moment to just light up the whole universe, honey. I posted something on Instagram. I'm going to send it to you so you can post it.
Okay, I need it. I need it. Okay,
Yeah.
but I still am making plans to come up there to celebrate with my friends. So if Cortez, if you are watching.
Cortez is here. Hey, Cortez. Hey, Richard. Hello, Jay. Hello, everybody that's tuning in. So, Chris, first start off by giving you your flowers while you're here. That's one thing that I've been trying to do. You've been such a huge inspiration in my life over the years, and it's been an honor to really fight the good fight with your ass. So maybe you can start off by telling the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself, all the things that we love.
Let's see where to start. I am let's talk about what I have been, because they kind of asked who I am. I've been a bartender. I spent a whole decade as a bartender. I spent the following decade in public health. I've spent most of that time working with people who are HIV positive, people who are of African American culture, people who are LGBTQ. I've spent that whole decade, and I'm moving out of that decade because it's been longer than a decade now. I think I'm moving into my 13th year or something like that in public health. And so I am a social worker. I am a public health professional. I am a older brother of. I'm the oldest brother of 8. I am a cancer. I am a crybaby. The list goes on and on.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
I am a comforter by nature. I am a supporter. I would like to believe one of my biggest roles that I've ever had to facilitate was friend. And that's a role I take really seriously. So I've been a friend. I'm a son, and I've been a lover, and I've been loved. So I've been on the receiving end of love. The list goes on and on. Okay.
I love it. You definitely been that friend. I can honestly say there have been times where you talked me off a ledge, you talked me out of a fight, all types of shit. We've been through some moments.
Yeah. I pride myself on being a really good friend. If I give you my friendship, I feel like I've given you something. I don't know what other people do with their friendship, but I just don't throw friendship out there willy-nilly.
I love that. And we have that in common. We have a lot in common. We've worked at the same agency. We both left said agency and moved to another agency. You left that agency. I came to the agency, then left said agency too. Tell me, what is it like to know when it's time to go? What feelings or revelations did you have?
I think it's time to go when the tree is barren. When the tree isn't bearing any more fruit for you, and you keep planting, you keep tilling, you keep on trying to harvest, but you reap nothing in that harvest. And it's a feeling, and you can feel it. You don't just wake up one day and then, most people, you don't just wake up one day and then something small or minute happens and you think, oh, well, I'm going to leave this company and I'm never going to come back again. It's weeks and months and moments where you feel disconnected from the work you're doing. And it is especially important for those of us who consider the work that we do a vocation. And I want to be specific about that, vocation and not job or career, because you'll change jobs and you may have a career and never feel passionate about it. But for those of us who are passionate about the work that we do, when that tree doesn't bear any fruit, it makes us very disjointed as people, because this is a part of who we are. You spend 8 hours a day every day except for on weekends, and some of us on weekends, and some of us more than the 8 hours, giving your time to that thing. And it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes one of the things you identify as. And if you're not bearing any fruit in the place that you are, that becomes haphazard for you as a human being, I think. And I think that's when I know it's time for me to leave. When my trees don't bear any fruit. When season after season, I keep looking on the branches and nothing is growing. If that makes sense.
That'll preach, Chris. So in all of that work that we've done, and you talked about that, in a previous episode, I talked about some of the trauma that we can go through. And I don't think that there was anything that I would change. I've learned a lot. I've learned how to move through situations. And my ex-pastor used to always say, you keep learning your lessons until you actually face them. And so the only thing I would not have done was put up with the trauma for as long as I did. The only thing, because it caused me to be bitter towards the work that I was doing. So you're absolutely right in that.
Yeah. I think it is a sad place when you are really passionate and you have compassion for the people that you serve, and then the establishment or the organization takes that lightly. You know what? It's like being in an abusive relationship. That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Being in an abusive relationship is you keep on getting. Excuse my language because I don't know what I can and cannot say on here.
You're
But
here.
but it's like you keep on getting your ass whooped every day, and then you keep coming back, and you know that you don't want to keep coming back, and you know that this is a dangerous space for you, but you just keep on doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
I think that is so monumental because that was another momentous occasion in my life when my therapist told me that you're repeating that abusive relationship just in a professional relationship. So that, ooh, you in my house. So I was watching Coastal Elites on HBO. Have you seen that?
No, I have not, but I want to see it. I want to see it. I
Okay,
recorded the first episode, I think.
gotcha. So it was really good, and there was one particular scene with Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
The scene was called Super Gay, and without giving a lot of spoilers, I wanted to unpack this with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So the character talked about being an actor and asked to be super gay during an audition. He struggled with this ask because he wanted to represent for the queer community, right? But at what expense? Being Black queer men working in public health, we're invited to the table sometimes as a caricature. We've seen guys parade their magic like a sideshow act to still only be given the scraps or the lowest paying job at the agency. What is the importance of knowing who you are and showing up as your whole self?
For me, it comes down to a lot of things. First of all, this big surge of need for this Black queer representation that existed inside of public health, especially when it came to our particular field of interest, which was HIV, because there were so many people that we were serving that were Black and queer, and so then there became this huge rise of tokenism, right?
Mhm.
We could be anybody at the table, right?
Mhm.
And I recall a lot of people before us. There were very few people before us who really committed themselves, I think, to the field. There were obviously these big names that we all remember, and these leaders that we've all remembered, and but there wasn't that much commitment when I first came into the field by the mass. Right, the masses weren't. The masses of us who were participating in the work weren't as committed but it was a job, and the people asked us to do it. And then I saw this uptick or this upsurge of men who became real hardcore sponge professionals. They put in the work, they went to school, they learned, they took all the courses. This one became a nurse practitioner, this one became a public health official, this one was a doctor, which was very few before. Like I never saw that in bulk before.
Mm-hmm.
But then also with that, there was still this, well, your role is still outreach work, or your role is still community worker. And it was like, well, then why did we put in all of this work to become better at the work that we were doing? Why did we put in all of this work? And still to this day, there are very few of us who climb up the ladder. We can count them on our hands and toes. Those people who ascend to the upper echelon of the work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people ascend higher than us, but I still even wouldn't consider them at the top of the field when it comes to the work that we do. So we see very few representation for ourselves. And I just had this conversation with a counterpart. It is now time for us to stop selling our talents for pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
No other field would we accept that. We wouldn't be okay with that, nor would we allow somebody to mistreat us. And I think it's gotten to the point where we have given people carte blanche to give us scraps when we deserve a whole meal. And it's overwhelming to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I know me and you, we went back to grad school at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long process, putting in hours of hard work to learn how to do the work that we do, only to walk into the office where there is somebody who doesn't even they don't even hold the same qualifications we do. You have a background in underwater basket weaving, but yet you're the ED of the whole place, or you are the assistant, or you're the deputy director, or and it's like, and you don't listen to us. That was, and I may be rambling, but that was so problematic for me. It was problematic, the fact that not only had I put in the work to learn my skill set, but I had also went back and studied it. Not only had I put in the ground level work, so not only did I beat the streets every night, like I started off as a community worker. I started off going out in the streets, taking condoms to commercial sex workers on the middle of a Saturday night at 12 o'clock when I should have been at home in my bed.
Hello.
And then to put in the time to learn the craft and still be treated like I had no value, or I still to be thought of as valueless. It hurts. It hurts because, as I said before, this becomes a part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And we all sat at the table, whether it was me or you and someone else, or every one of us that I've met across the board, we have had this conversation about how it has been fruitless for us because there is a place where only one can ascend. And it's like we playing the Game of Thrones, or it's like we're the Highlander. There can be only one.
Right.
When the truth,
the unfortunate part of really the work that needs to be done. So that's a part of the plan that I have, is to, because I do have the formal education, I can now say, like, these should not be the requirements for this role. This person has multitudes of experience, talents, and gifts in a director role, in a management role, like of a project management. So yes, we can start to like really give people without formal education some more experience with paid experience.
I applaud the group of brothers out there, and I don't know if y'all are watching this, but I applaud the group of brothers who started that Young Black Leaders. What is it? What's the name of the initiative? I wasn't ever in that initiative, so I can never remember the names. But I always applaud
YBGLI.
I always applaud the brothers who started YBGLI, because I said that was a needed space in our community for those of us who were across the country. Because if it did nothing else, it brought all of those brothers together to begin to have conversations around how we best support each other and how we best make change in the work that we do in the communities that we serve for people who look like us. And so I have always been in support of those brothers, because they really made a difference. They really made change to how we connect with each other.
Okay. I remember in college being a part of a photo shoot, right? Mm-hmm. Campaign. And I showed up in my most 85 outfit, honey. And I was told to tone it down. And it burned me up inside. And I struggled with that statement. And if they had said that shit to me now, I would cut a fool. But because I was younger, I didn't have programs like YBGLI at that time. And for many other reasons that I just didn't. So I want to know, have there been any moments where you were told not to be your authentic self?
You know what? I have the opposite. And here's why. My authentic self is dull and boring as hell. My authentic self is a cardigan and some slacks and some penny loafers. That is my authentic self. My authentic self.
Outside of clothes.
But I want to watch TV at 9 o'clock and be in the bed by 9:30, right? And
I've always wanted to get home earlier.
Right? Say less. So I have had people who want me to show up as being extra more than I am. Like they want me to be like this for show thing. Like, oh no, you're supposed to, or Chris, why don't you ever, or why? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is me. Like, right? This is me. This is how I show up. Like I am not. And so I find that in their minds there is a perception of what we should be. And whether it is whether it is polarized to one way or polarized to the other way, it's never just show up in the gambit that is in between or in those gray spaces where you really are. It's show up as this thing that we need to present to say that we have this type of worker working for us, or we have this Black queer person working for us, or we have this Black trans woman working for us, and show up as that person.
Mm-hmm.
But
and that's I'm finna go on, finish what you were saying.
But it's like I am showing up when
as myself.
That person is showing up when I show up.
They don't get that, and that's why I love bringing Eddie to every space that I'm in, because Eddie is going to just be who the hell he is. I hate talking. I'm just going to be who the hell I am. So it's not to the point where I'm just like, what is it? Code switching or whatever. It's just like, I just know my environment. I know my audience. So you have to know who you're talking to sell. Is almost, you said it's a game, to sell the brand. And it's no longer thinking about like, oh, all of this other work. In order to put food on your table, sometimes you have to really brand yourself. And that's what people are starting to learn now more, is like branding.
And I also always thought it was confining too, because you could be at a large agency, you could be at the government level, you could be at anything, and it's like, okay, well, if I started in this branch of my work as a professional, that doesn't mean that I can't work in those other areas too, because those other areas may not have this particular target population. It's like, no, you stay right here, because this is where you're supposed to be. This is where we need to show you off. We need to pull you out the closet, dust you off, earn you a little bit, show you around to the people who fund us. And then we'll put you right back. We'll fold you up really neatly, and we'll put you back in that spot, and you just stay there, okay? It's like, well, no, I can do so much more. I can be so much more if you just let me. But oftentimes there's a fear that if I let you, something will go wrong.
Yeah. And then something too is like, it's almost related to the music industry. They package an artist, they send the artist out. But what I'm seeing now is so many people going independent, actually like creating their own organizations, moving in a new lane, and fantastic to see. And it's kind of like, well, Memphis, where you never know what happens in the future. I'll just say that, okay?
Okay, people, everybody and their mama keep on asking me why I won't leave Memphis.
Well, no, I'm actually thinking about some more things to happen in Memphis. Like,
are you coming out home to Jamaica?
Ooh, I don't know. I love Atlanta.
That's a no. That's a slick no.
I have said, because I never thought my ass would be in Atlanta. So I have said, you never know where the universe takes you, because I didn't think I was going to be here. I was applying in DC. Like, that was my move. But here I am, loving Atlanta. So
Atlanta.
Yes, identity is another hot topic for me because I see so many people struggling with it. And I'll admit that I've gone through many phases and eras in my life discovering who I am. And sometimes it wasn't the most pretty. And I've gone through it all. My Kamora Lee and Mariah Diva era was probably the most fun, but the most toxic. What struggles did you come across in self-discovery and how did you overcome them?
Oh, so many. There is a version of Chris that I didn't care for. There is a young version of me that I was never quite in real relationship with. Um, there is a 16-year-old version of me that is still stuck on being the skinny weird kid in school, the nerdy kid. There is a 20-year-old version of me that is still that struggled really hard with determining or trying to figure out who I was outside of what everybody told me I should be. There is another version of me that is wants to go back and party, and all of them have their barriers. All of them have their barriers to being successful. Um, I didn't know myself for quite some time. A lot of people learn themselves early on, but I did a lot of soul searching. I could say in the decade between 21 and 30, there was just a lot of lack of clarity about who I was, and not just as a person, but as a man, right? So many times I hear people call these young boys men and say that they're men, but manhood is something that you really grow into and you develop and you step into it.
Mhm.
I can honestly say I was not quick to step into my manhood. I spent quite a long time being just an adult boy. Um, then there was
I
this.
have a question for the post show, okay?
Okay. So I spent this a big time being this really big adult boy, searching around, doing a lot of getting into trouble, drinking, hanging out, being at every club, being in every party, just trying to figure out who I was and what my real identity was. And I think the biggest barrier to me getting in a relationship with me was me. Was me fighting against me all the time. I mean, there were people and there were stumbling blocks along the way, but most of them I had set into place myself, or I have made them larger than life. Have you ever just made something in your life just bigger than it has to be? It becomes so overwhelming that you can't see your way around it, and everybody else thinks it's a very minute thing. And I had a lot of those moments where I just thought, this is the biggest thing that has ever happened to me. I don't know how to surmount it. So yeah, I had all of these moments where I was really, really trying to figure myself out. Um, Even now, I guess I am. There is a part of me that I'm trying to figure out even right now. That I'm still getting to know me. Even at 41, I'm still getting to know me. So yeah, for me, those were the barriers. Just changing or learning about me in a new way as every facet of me grew, or as these different facets of me developed. So even now, I'm in that space where I'm trying to figure out or learn about me. Okay, so everybody keep their fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, prayers, chants, all of that.
And if you in the background, sing a few oohs and ahs.
I don't do oohs and
Those two oohs and ahs.
So with all of that going on, how do you juggle your own shit? Because we also have the commonality of working with people and their problems. So where does time to handle your own shit come in?
Okay, so recently I have started teaching a philosophy when it comes to my clients, and I have had to adapt this philosophy myself, right? So the whatever you are, if you're a Christian, if you're Buddhist, or whatever the case may be, or even if you are just one of those people who likes to go close to the white light, step into the light, Carol Ann, this is your moment. I recognize that there is 24 hours in a day. There is 8 hours. There is 8 hours for sleep. there is 8 hours for work, and then there is 8 hours for my own self-governance and taking care of myself. And what I recognize is that I have been stealing time from myself and giving it to other things. I've been stealing 2 or 3 hours here of my own time and giving it to work. I've been stealing 2 or 3 hours here and giving those times to other people who I deemed had more importance in my life than me, which was crazy, and other things that I deemed that had more importance in my life than me. So now I have started this process of keeping track of time that I have given to other things, and then as one of our favorite aunties says, I'm reclaiming my time.
Okay.
I will not be allowing other things or other people to steal that time from me and not for me to take that time back and give it to myself. That's one way I engage in self-care. The other way is I don't let other people's problems become my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let the clients' problems become my problems. For as much as I am compassionate about them, as much as I want to sit here and listen to you, and I want to help you discover what it is that you need to do, because all I can do is go along the journey with you. It's not my job to drive the car. It's my job to be a really good passenger and support you on your journey. As much as I want to be that, I can't take on the responsibility of your journey. It's not mine. Okay. For as much as I sit here, if I listen to you cry, if I listen to you reaccount your troubles and your woes, and we can sit and we can talk about it, but I don't own it. And even go ahead.
Tell me this.
Okay, give it to me.
When you first introduced yourself with all of your like adjectives and stuff, you said something like nurturer or something. So how is that handling a role while being a nurturer?
Mm-hmm. No, I tend my garden first. Yeah, before I let you borrow my weed eater and some mulch, and before I come over there and I start digging up in your dirt, I have to tend to my own garden first. And sometimes I find that I want to step out and around the corner and go out the fence and come up to your house and work on your stuff and notice that my leaves need to be blown and all of that and not do it. But then I have to remind myself that I cannot be present for you until I'm first present for me.
Mm-hmm.
How can I give you what I don't have to give? I can't step into a space for you that I have not stepped into for myself yet. And until I am full, you got to be hungry. And that's just how the game works. I'm sorry. Okay. That's just how it is.
Okay.
I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know what to tell you. I used to be one of those type of people who would be like, "Oh, call out." I'm not gonna call out. That's just, I just need to be at work every day. And now I'm the type of person who'll be like, because if I died today, then the company would go on without me.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all just hire somebody else tomorrow. Y'all just scoop me off the pavement. Everybody will come to my funeral and say a few nice words. You'll listen to the choir because I already know the songs are gonna be good. I've already got this list together. So trust me, it's gonna be right.
You already have your list together?
Have me a list, okay? I got good songs in there, okay? The choir marching in, safe in his arms, tears, everybody crying. Just go in.
I got some trap in my song list.
Okay, I'm talking about.
That's why I can't have my funeral at a church.
Full gospel choir. I'm talking about it.
I want the gospel choir to sing like God love all the trap niggas or something like that. Yeah, like for real. That's a little element of Eddie that's still in there.
I don't tell him. You ain't good. You ain't street. You ain't North Memphis.
Look, I almost started twerking, but I gotta remember these pants is revealing. So going back to identities, another element of my identity was being a hopeless romantic child. Mm-hmm. On the pre-production call, you made a statement that just blew me away. You said you made peace with being single, and I'm making peace, but I've technically been single for years. So that statement having peace with being single mean to you?
It means that I am okay with the fact that there will be some nights that my bed and I will be the only person in my bed. That I won't spend those days longing for something that may not come into existence for me because I don't know if I'll be with somebody for the rest of my life. Obviously, it is something that I long for. It is something that I want, but making peace with the fact that perhaps uh, I will not find that love or that connectivity in the way that in which I've always expected it. And so
Mhm.
I'm learning to make peace with the fact that I am single and enjoy company as it comes. Um,
Mhm.
I used to think that if I have a partner, that partner has to be with me at all times. We have to be under each other at all times. But my last relationship taught me that there are adjustments that have to be made for both parties. Both people have to make adjustments. And so even when I was in a relationship, I didn't always get that. And so now I'm okay with not having that. It is something
Mhm.
that I would love to have. It is something that I still look forward to, but I'm okay if I don't get it in the way that I want to. If it's not, if it doesn't come to me, if it's not palatable to me in the way in which I had expected it. And so I'm okay with that. I think I'm getting to a place where I'm okay with that. Would I like a relationship? Definitely. I would love to. I am a hopeless romantic too. I would love
Mhm.
to think that somebody would put their hand in my hand and those hands would stay intertwined until the day I pass away. I would love to believe that. That on my deathbed, I will look over to somebody and tell them thank you for partnering with me on this journey for as long as they have partnered. But I am also a realist, and I also believe that I have to be whole. I have to be whole, and that searching for somebody or searching for uh, finding my joy in somebody, that is not whole behavior. That's broken.
Mhm. It's broken.
Mhm.
Mm. We got some other topics on the other line for that. What did it really take for you to get to that place of peace?
I'm still working on it. I am still working on it every day. I don't think um, Mike. You know what? In group therapy, the clients are always helping me to understand things. One of the things I used to always ask is, how will you know when the journey is complete? Because I was looking for them to tell me what it looks like when they are well. And what I get time and time again is, I don't think the journey will ever be complete. Can we begin to be okay with the fact that we're just on the journey, and can we enjoy the ride? You
Right.
you don't get on the roller coaster thinking, well, I can't wait till the roller coaster ride is over. You get on the roller coaster thinking, oh, I want to
Yeah.
I want to feel the dips and the highs and the lows, right? It's a part
Yeah.
of the process. It's the process. It's the journey that you enjoy. When the ride is over, you're like, oh, well, where's the next roller coaster? But some of us are so caught up at like what's going to be at the end. Uh, the man who opens the gate and lets you out is going to be at the end. Okay, and
Mm.
for those of you who are big, big, big Christian, big Buddhist, big whatever and whatever, okay, what does that look like for us? The man gonna open the gate and let us in. It's gonna be over. Enjoy the ride.
Mhm.
Why can't we just enjoy the ride? I was so hell bent on, or I have been so hell bent on uh, this dream that okay, I'm gonna be with somebody. We're gonna have some kids, and it's gonna be a dog, and it's gonna be a backyard garden slash pool parties, and it's gonna be cookies, and it's gonna be PTA on Wednesdays, and it's gonna be vacations at Disney World. That I have not stopped to enjoy just the little things that even you guys give me, right? You know,
Mm.
I haven't stopped to enjoy the fact that when I go to brunch with you, it is hilarious that you have me cackling. That when we go to Frida's with Cortez for margaritas, it is the best time ever. That hanging with my friend Jonathan and talking about facial products is amazing. I could go on and on about all of my friends that sitting over my friend Robert house. and bitching and complaining about what we don't have is just as much fun as the things that we do have. So, and talking to all of my friends, just talking to my friends, talking to the next door neighbor, talking to Jen. The list goes on and on and on. Talking to Jamila, uh, talking to China, who just called me while I was on the phone. That these moments are just as good and they're just as rich and they are just as important as the ones that I will have with that person. And the last moment that I'll have is I say thank you. So though all of the moments are important, I am ready to enjoy the ride.
I think that's another thing too, because Brian, I can't remember his last. Odin, Lord, he always talked about eulogies, living the dash.
Mm-hmm.
You doing between their birth date and the end date. And so I thought that was a really, rough kind of way to think about, but it's a great message to say, living the dash. So I think that is really a great point. So I've had a lot of people recently, while you're on this, I told you, my fix my life moments. A lot of people come to me about breakups. What advice do you have for someone that's struggling with a breakup?
All the advice that I have is all the advice that you guys have given me in my breakup. And that advice holds true to be okay with the fact that things come to an end. Okay? Things come to an end. People die, people pass away, people leave, people move, people start new lives, and relationships end. Sometimes they run their course. There are two things that we lose when we have a relationship, and I remind people of this. We lose the person, and then we also lose the idea of what this relationship could be for us. And sometimes when we lose the person, we feel sadness, but sometimes we quickly get over the loss of the person. Okay, well, this person is gone, but that idea sometimes can be just as traumatizing as the loss of the person. Well, I've lost all of these other things. I lost coming home to you every day. I done lost laying in the bed with you. I done lost knowing exactly what to do at 6 o'clock. I done lost all that.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say I lost Keisha, Quita, John, Tony, Pierre, Linda. You said I lost all of these things. So are you mourning the loss of the person, or are you okay with it? Or are you really mourning the loss of this idea of what your relationship could have been or what it was for you? And sometimes we've got to focus on how do we let go of that, the idea that this relationship could have been something or it could have been more for me. I think that was a big piece. That's a big piece for me. I know it was a big piece for me. I don't know about you guys. But
that's definitely for me. I will say that same thing. And now that I'm thinking about all of these people who've come, all these entanglements, and it's kind of like, well, damn, do I really miss this? And mostly no. Like I could do without them.
Right? I think back to my last relationship or the partner I just had, and I don't ever want to take anything from that person. I don't ever want to make that person seem like a villain because we did share all of these great times. But I will say that some days I didn't feel like I was getting the things I needed from this particular person. A lot of days. And the idea of being with them was so big. This was the person, this is the person I committed myself to, I gave my life to. Like, I'm realizing more and more that person often didn't give me or anything or care about what it is that I need or let me say this because I can't speak for that person, but I didn't feel like it. Right? I didn't feel that at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of not being without that person was so big to me. We have been together for so long and we have built so much life together and the loss of it hurt. It cut so deep that, but the person, I'm starting to realize.
So that's kind of like one thing that I had to get out of. was that codependency in relationships. And as a person who has been codependent on someone before and had someone dependent upon me, what's your take on codependency?
Mm-hmm. Stop trying to save yourself and other people.
Oh,
yeah. Stop trying to save yourself. You see images of yourself. You see pieces and bits of yourself, and you're working really diligently to save that part of you, to motivate or to sculpt that part of you, but you can't. For as much as you want to find your wholeness inside of somebody else, it's impossible. Focus on that wholeness inside of you. Focus on giving those bits of you that need that support, that love, that joy, whatever it is that's missing. Because let me tell you something. Codependent behavior is built out of your own brokenness, right? Built out of your lack of wholeness. It says that I am searching for something that I don't feel like I already have. You know, a whole person feels safe, feels supported, feels cared for, feels guided, feels loved, feels joy. And if a piece of that is missing, if a piece of that gets fragmented off into the universe, you'll go searching for it in every person, or or you'll go searching for it in some things. But the problem is you'll never be able to find it in there. You just won't. So really, stop trying to build up yourself in this other person. You just ain't gonna get it. It's a fruitless endeavor. It ain't gonna work. It won't work. Let the choir sing. It won't work. It won't work.
Yeah, I'm on vocal rest.
Stop it. You just can't do it.
Can't do it.
I know that I try to protect or to save a piece of me and other people to my own detriment, and it's an endeavor. I could have spent all of that time giving that love, giving that feeling of protection, giving that feeling of support, nurturing myself, instead of trying to nurture what I saw of myself inside of you.
So I've learned a lot after my most recent divorce, child. And it sounds like you've learned a lot about just who Chris was. Have you discovered any new deal breakers?
I've learned that I don't like people who are selfish, right?
Okay.
If you're selfish with your time, if you're selfish with your love, if you think that there will be no compromise, that you will walk away from the table with everything you want, then you are not the person for me, because I am wholeheartedly the type of person who will compromise with you so that we both achieve a mutual outcome. And when I find a person, or when I'm talking to a person now, and I get glimpses or hints or even a whiff of the fact that you're not willing to make any adjustments for me, it's a no for me, dog.
Okay.
It's a no for me. It's a no.
That's
for
a
me.
no for me too.
That's wrong. It's a no.
That's it. Yeah. So now you've mentioned that you ask pertinent questions to potential partners. What are some of the questions that you ask? Like, because I be needing a few extra questions.
Here's a question that I asked off the top.
Give me at least one good one.
Here's a question that I asked off TOP right now, and people don't like it, and they often don't know how to answer. I asked, "What's the offer?" Okay, and they're like, "What?" I said, "Oh, I know what I'm offering you. I know what I'm coming to the table with. But what's your offer? What do you have for me?" Because you're expecting that I'm going to bring all of these things to you. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be in support of you, and I'm going to give you all of that. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be in support of you. If we find ourselves married, I might get up every morning and cook a meal or two. I'm here for all of that. But what you got to offer me? What's the offer?
Okay, and lay it on the table.
Yeah.
We got like bidding in spades.
Yeah, because we in a negotiation. That's what dating is about. We in negotiations. We trying to figure out how we can merge these two companies. So what's your offer?
You know what? I'm gonna steal that because I think of dating almost as a business merger, because like there has to be something that is being offered. I think of it as sometimes you may have to have a contract. Like it's not a prenup, but it's it's like a what is it called? A relationship contract.
So I want to know what is your offer? What are you bringing to the table? And let me tell you something. In this moment, I'm gonna be slightly vulgar, so excuse me to all the people out here whose ears don't deserve to hear this. But you got to bring more to the table than smiles and good booty, big pussy. That got to be more.
That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, you can get that anywhere. I can get that on any street corner. And for all of my people who do sex work out there, let me tell you something. And I could pay for it, and it would make it simpler. Let's just be honest. I could order up somebody, and it would be easy. It would be simple. I know how to take them out because I spend just as much money on dates. I probably could just pay for it and move on with my life. I can order up. Dial it up. So what do you got? Because I'm not going to spend all this time, all this effort, all of this energy on you, and then I end up empty because I keep on showing up for you. I keep on giving you more. I keep on supporting you, and you ain't gave me nothing. I need to know off top, what do you have? What am I getting from this situation? And if you can't answer that question, then I'm going to have to let you go back to the house. Okay.
And I believe in doing like progress reports. Like we check in at a certain time frame just to see how progress is going.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey.
Yeah, I believe in it. So my next nigga, my next hoe, whoever, just want to check in.
Yeah, because why waste your time? Why spend your week? Especially if you already know what you want. I already know what I want when I came here. Okay, and that's another thing I need people to understand. I need the people to understand the difference between intimacy, sex, and relationship. Those are three different things.
Ooh, and, yes.
And know what you're asking for when you call me. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I know what I want. I know on 3 o'clock in a Wednesday morning, I don't want intimacy. That's not what I came here for. I didn't come here to hold you. Okay, I might have came to hold you at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, but at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, that ain't what I'm here for.
Yeah. No.
I'm here to do something.
Unless I exclusively stated in the fine print,
I'm here unless we already had that under warranty before we
But at 3 o'clock, ain't nobody calling 3 o'clock.
I didn't come here for that. That's not what I came here for.
Not with my schedule. Let me say that. Now.
I came here for back bends, flips, dips, ice cream, popsicles, milkshake, all of that. I came for a full-on show. I came here for a Cirque du Soleil. And if you ain't I'm good.
And I'm not here for no pillow princesses either, but that's a whole nother story. Okay.
I pass.
You've given me so much to think about.
Okay.
A few years ago, I hosted a vision board party for my birthday, and I cannot tell you how much fun we had. We made our vision boards, and I even checked in with y'all, and it's been so fulfilling to see people's boards come into fruition. I don't remember what was on mine, but I do know that a lot of the goals that I had, have accomplished. Mm-hmm. And I need to build me a new one. So tell us.
For the next vision board party.
It is. What's next for Chris? What goals have you set for yourself? Right
now I am working on my last license as a social worker. So I'm working on my clinical license. I'm halfway through my hours, and so I'm still working through the rest of my hours. So everybody keep their fingers crossed for that. So as Nancy would say, wherever she is, surround me in white light.
Yes. Oh, I missed that. Surround me in white light. I'm gonna keep
white light. I really want to start my own practice. I really would like to start not just a practice, but I would like to start like a retreat center because I feel like that's missing in our community. We don't have a lot of retreat centers that are centered around people of color. And I was just talking to another therapist about that. I would definitely like to become certified in 2 things as a therapist. Right now, I'm working on becoming well, I would like to start working on becoming ASEX certified so I can become a sex therapist, because I don't think there's a lot of that. I know in the city of Memphis, there are only 3 certified sex therapists, and none of them are people of color. So that is something I want to do. Work on my doctorate is something that I plan on doing. I am looking at programs and reaching out to all the people who are working on their doctorates or who have worked on their doctorates and asking for advice. So I am doing that. What else? There are still all the things that I put on my vision board, but my visions have changed, right?
Yes, mine has too.
My visions have changed. And so another thing we have to do is not be so stuck on just like who we imagine ourselves to be.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be so stuck on it. Like, you know, there are things that I hope to accomplish. There are things that I want to buy a house. And, you know, again, I still dream of starting a family and having a family. But if it don't happen, I'm still going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, I have like all of that. I'm in this place of just in the moment. So I do have, you know, places that I want to see myself, but I've stopped measuring that productivity in my measurement of just being present because I so focused too many years on all of what I needed to accomplish. And I was like, yeah. But I realized I wasn't connected because some memories I don't have when people come to me and say, like, you remember when? And I'm like, ooh, because I was not in the moment. Yeah. And I really want to change that. So that's a piece of my vision that I need to place on my board somewhere.
I agree. When you cutting your pictures out for the others, there's some pictures right next to yours that's left over. Let me borrow them so I can put them on my board. You know, okay. I'm a vision board thief. I be looking over into other people's dreams and be like, "Oh, let me get a little taste of that. Oh, that looks so good."
Yeah, let me try.
Right, I'm a vision board thief.
I am too, because I'd be like, where that magazine go? Where you get that one from?
Okay, what is that? Esquire? Let me borrow that. I like his outfit. Let me get that.
Well, Pumpkin, was there any like final words that you have for our listeners and viewers?
I don't know. I guess I don't want. I don't want any final words. Let's stay connected to each other. The times are really trying, and we need each other. We need each other so desperately. We've been in a disconnect as a community, whatever community that we talk about, especially for those of us who are of color. We've been in a disconnect for so long. So I don't want to give you any final words. I want us to stay together, okay?
Stay together.
And if I would leave you with anything, it'd be the words of Mr. Rogers. Let's make the most of this beautiful day. And since we're together, we might as well stay. Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah. So, Pumpkin, thank you so much. I have
Thank you for having
thoroughly
me.
enjoyed this conversation tonight. That the viewers did too. The comments have been rolling in, honey. Now, don't be surprised if a few of my thirsty listeners hop in your inbox.
Get in there. And when you get in there, bring an offer.
Bring an offer. Hello. That's what you need to do. Don't hop up in Pumpkin.
Don't hop in there talking about I saw you and I think you handsome. Offer me something.
Well, don't go too far because we have to have this after show, okay?
I ain't going nowhere where I'm going.
All right. So I hope you all have enjoyed Chris as much as I did. I'm loving hearing from y'all. Keep it coming. Don't forget that you can be a guest on the Southern Gent. Shoot me a message or email me at igobyeddy@gmail.com. And I hope you all enjoy your evening. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ed Wiley 06. And next week, I'm joined by the Mary J. Blige to my Whitney Houston, Mr. Avron. So make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love y'all. Ciao.